Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. So guys, there's interesting news and news that I thought I ought to report. Apparently Arthur Beterbiev is close to fighting Joe Smith Jr., looking to unify the division even further. So I'm pretty sure Joe Smith Jr. is with Top Rank, and obviously Beterbiev is with Top Rank as well. So that fight's easy to make in-house. And it'll be for 3 belts on the line because Beterbiev is a unified champion and Joe Smith has the WBO. So that will mean that if Beterbiev was to win that fight, he'll be a 3 belt holder. What that does is though, that puts the Canelo Alvarez fight in doubt. So, and it puts more pressure on Canelo Alvarez to either make his decision soon, because I'm pretty sure if a Canelo Alvarez fight was to be offered, then I'm pretty sure Beterbiev will definitely take that over a Joe Smith fight, because he could fight Joe Smith after. And also the Canelo Alvarez fight will be a much bigger payday for him. So I'm pretty sure that Beterbiev would definitely take a Canelo Alvarez fight over a Joe Smith fight. But this is interesting news, because now what it means is Canelo's probably only going to be able to fight Plant. Unless he decides to fight Benavidez, which there's no real gain in that. He may even look to fight a Charlo, or Andrade, maybe get an Andrade to move up to 168. But it's interesting because that also rules out Beterbiev. But however, there's also Bivol at 175, who's a champion. I believe he's the WBA. Is he the WBA or the IBF? I can't remember. But he's a champion as well. So Canelo would have that option there, because if Bivol and Beterbiev, if Beterbiev and Smith are going to fight and Canelo fights Bivol and beats Bivol, then Canelo could fight the winner of Smith and Beterbiev for the undisputed. And that'll probably be easier for him to make as well. But yeah, so it looks like it rules out the Canelo fight, unless Canelo makes a decision right away that he wants to fight Beterbiev. I think the Canelo-Beterbiev fight is probably going to be ruled out. Just because if Beterbiev is in deep talks to fight Joe Smith, then, you know, I'm pretty sure that there's not any Canelo talks going on. Or is there talks going on, or is it just a way of Team Beterbiev to try to get the Canelo to, you know, hurry up? I don't know. I don't know what you know, obviously don't know what the ins and outs are. But this is very interesting, and it's good in a way, because you're getting closer to an undisputed light heavyweight champion, because that means whoever wins that one will have 3 belts. And I think we're closer to an undisputed champion, and it makes it interesting for Canelo Alvarez, because it makes it very tempting for him to go up to light heavyweight, and he could become an undisputed champion by not doing a lot of work there. Because if, for example, Beterbiev fights Smith, then all of a sudden there's 3 belts. If Canelo was to fight Beterbiev, right, Canelo has an opportunity to win 3 belts, and then he'll only have to beat Bivol in a fight that would be very easy to make, by the way, because Bivol is with DAZN. That would mean Canelo only have to fight 1 more guy to become undisputed. So his road to undisputed would be very easy. We always knew with Canelo in the 168-pound division, the Smith and Saunders fight were going to be easy to make. It was going to be the Caleb Plant fight that was going to be hard to make. And anybody that's with PBC and Fox is going to be hard to make, because Al Heyman isn't going to want to give up that belt. Al Heyman isn't going to just want to give up that just to let Caleb Plant go off to DAZN and have a huge fight with Canelo. He'd prefer that fight on his platform, so he benefits. He doesn't want Al Heyman doesn't want DAZN to benefit. He wants his business and broadcaster to benefit. And by letting Caleb Plant go in over there, you're sending your champion in a fight where he'll be a massive underdog. He's going onto another platform. He knows that he holds a piece, which could potentially be a very lucrative fight on their platform, because Canelo Alvarez with Plant could do something between 600 to 1 million pay-per-view buys on their platform. So they know how much money they could make from that. So they're just not just going to give that up, you know. Even though, like Eddie Hearn said to Akim Barak, that they said that why wouldn't that fight happen? Why wouldn't Caleb Plant take that fight? It's the most money out there for him. And Eddie Hearn said that common sense doesn't always apply in boxing, and he's right. Common sense doesn't always apply in boxing, because it's not the fact that Caleb Plant would want to take the fight, but he might not be in a position where he can take the fight. Let's not forget that if he's got a contract with Al Heyman, it's Al Heyman's decision in a way. You know, Caleb Plant can't force his way to fight on there because there'll be legal implications. You know what I mean? So he's tied down to probably a contract with Al Heyman, and most importantly, all the Al Heyman fighters trust Al Heyman. You know, Al Heyman does a great job for them. You know, and he's a great. See, it's not just about a one fight thing. It's about a career, and Al Heyman seems to know how to guide a career. That's why all these guys like Mayweather, Errol Spence always thank Al Heyman, because they feel he does a great job and he manages their career well and he guides them in the right direction. And that's why they're all happy with him. You never hear anyone come out and say anything negative about Al Heyman. Everyone says positive things about Al Heyman. So Al Heyman is somebody that keeps his fighters very happy and content. You never hear anyone say anything bad about Al Heyman. So Al Heyman is definitely a great promoter, great advisor, whatever, manager, whatever you want to call him. He's great because his fighters are very happy with him. You know, so in terms of this whole situation, I don't think it's going to be easy for Canelo to make the Plant fight. I don't think it's going to be easy at all. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope the fight does happen, and I hope it happens. I don't care what platform it happens on, to be honest. Actually, I do, because I'd rather it be on DAZN, because I've got DAZN, so I know I'll be able to get. I'll have that fight. If it's on Fox, God knows what broadcaster it will be on. I don't know whether, you know, if it's on Fox, it'll be on the DAZN in the UK. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Fox might do a deal with a network in the UK. I don't know how it works. I'm pretty sure Canelo would have a say in that as well. Maybe Canelo could have that fight on UK DAZN. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works as a UK, because I'm in the UK. So in terms of whether it's on Fox, it doesn't bother me, because we're not going to be watching it on Fox. We're going to be watching it on one of the UK broadcasters, so either Fight TV. I don't personally think a fight of that magnitude should be on Fight TV. I think Sky Sports or someone. But then again, is that really a pay-per-view fight? Plant v Canelo in the UK? It's not. That's why I won't be surprised if it goes on an app like Fight TV again, because those guys might want to put it on pay-per-view to generate as much revenue. But on Sky at 4 in the morning, they know that's not going to do the great numbers for them. Neither is BT. I don't think it's going to do great numbers for them. So I think unless it's on free to air, which a lot of big fighters like Canelo and those guys might not want it. They want it on a pay-per-view platform like Fight TV, where they can charge a tenner and they can make revenue out of that. I don't know. I don't know what they decide to do. I hope that, you know, it is on DAZN, because that means we'll get it on UK DAZN. But again, let's see what broadcaster it lands on, because I think that's going to be the stumbling block to make the Plant fight. But I think Beterbiev Smith's a great fight, by the way. Going back onto that fight, I think it's a great fight. And Joe Smith is not somebody to be underestimated. Joe Smith can really fight. He's tall, he's strong, and I saw him fight Fonfana a long time ago, and he knocked Fonfana out. Fonfana was a good fighter, and he's a good fighter. Smith's a very good fighter. He's tall, he's rangy, he's strong, he can punch, and Beterbiev, we know, has been down before. So this is a very dangerous fight. Listen, I expect Beterbiev to stop Smith and beat Smith. You know, Smith was outclassed by Bivol, but Bivol, for me, his boxing skills are a bit better than Beterbiev. Beterbiev's, at the minute, don't get me wrong, I think Beterbiev's got good skills as well. I don't think he's had to show it yet. But I think Beterbiev's so strong and he's such a big puncher that he's walking through a lot of guys. But I definitely think this Smith fight is not going to be as easy as what people may make out it to be. I think Smith is a very, very strong, very, very big light heavyweight. And I think he can punch, and I think it's very, very dangerous every time you go in there with Smith. And like I said, there are vulnerabilities around Beterbiev, especially after being dropped by Callum Johnson. I feel like he's coming up somebody of the same kind of ilk, better than Callum Johnson, in Joe Smith. As big, if not even a bigger puncher than Callum Johnson. And I think this is going to be a very, very dangerous fight for Beterbiev. I think Beterbiev's going to have to be on his game. It's a fight that I fully expect him to win, but it's by no means a pushover. It's by no means an easy fight, and it shouldn't be. It's a unification fight. You know, Smith's a champion, so it shouldn't be a pushover. This is a very, very good fight, and a fight that I'll be looking forward to. I do think that Beterbiev will come through, and I think Beterbiev will most likely stop Joe Smith. But like I said, I won't be surprised if Joe Smith stops Beterbiev, because like I said, he is big and strong, and I have seen him pull off upsets before. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one if this one does get made. But what that means is that there's no Canelo Alvarez fight with Beterbiev next, unless Canelo gets a move on and makes that fight right away. It looks like that fight for Canelo is not going to be next. It looks like, you know, Beterbiev will fight Joe Smith. So the Canelo fight is probably on the back burner for the time being, which is good and bad. Good in the way that it's going to the undisputed. You know, they're looking to become the light heavyweight division is going in the direction of an undisputed champion. However, it's bad in a way because I want to see Canelo Beterbiev. So we're not going, even if we don't get that in the foreseeable future, the fight could be bigger. If Canelo does get a fight with Plant and become undisputed, right? And Beterbiev beats Smith, that makes it very tempting for Canelo to go to 175 and forget about Charlo and Andrade, because what that means is if Canelo beats Beterbiev, he's got 3 belts in the light heavyweight division. He'd only have to beat Bivol then, right, to become a light heavyweight undisputed champion. So that would be very tempting for Canelo Alvarez, in my opinion, if Beterbiev was to beat Smith. And even if Smith was to beat Beterbiev, that makes it even more tempting for him to go up there and do a job on I feel Canelo's in a great position. If that fight between Smith and Beterbiev, which I think it will because they're both with the same promoter in Top Rank, I think it makes it very tempting for Canelo. And I actually think, here's the other thing, I actually think Canelo working with Bob Arum will be very easy. I think Bob Arum would let Beterbiev or Smith go over to DAZN. I don't know, actually. They may be, but Canelo, I think it will be a lot easier because I think Canelo wouldn't mind going to ESPN. But again, I don't know. You know, maybe that'll be difficult to make as well. I think it will be easier because Bob Arum likes to make these big fights. Would Bob Arum allow Beterbiev to go over to... I think there could be, because Beterbiev might be looked at as one of his stars now. If he holds 3 belts, Beterbiev will be looked at as a star. Bob Arum, however, is known for taking his cut. So if Beterbiev gets paid a huge amount of money, goes to DAZN, Bob Arum gets his cut. Bob Arum might be happy with that. He's been happy with that before, as we saw with the Triller. But that went to purse bids anyway. But Bob Arum, I think will be... I don't think he'll be as reluctant, especially if the money's right, to not allow Beterbiev to go. Because let's not forget, Beterbiev's not a huge cash cow. Beterbiev isn't going to be breaking, viewership numbers or anything. So Beterbiev isn't like a huge ticket seller or a huge, pay-per-view, generates huge pay-per-view numbers. That's not who Beterbiev is. Beterbiev's not that kind of star. So Bob Arum might be more willing to let him go and fight on DAZN. Whereas Al Heyman's looking at it, even though Plant's not a big star, he wants that fight on his platform because that fight will do huge numbers. And he knows what that could generate for his business and on his platform on Fox. But then having said that, Bob Arum would also know that if Canelo fights Beterbiev on ESPN, they could put that on pay-per-view and do huge numbers. So again, all of these fights are not going to be easy to make, especially if Canelo has got a tight relationship with DAZN and he wants to fight on DAZN and doesn't want to fight on any other platform. I don't think these fights are going to be as easy to make as we think. Even though Canelo's a free agent, Canelo seems to me like, and the way Eddie Hearn was speaking, it seems to me like they want those fights on DAZN and they're sending offers. But again, when you're a guy like Beterbiev, if you're holding 3 belts in the light heavyweight division, or you're Plant and you know the position that you're in, and you're Al Heyman, you know the position that you're in, and Canelo wants to become undisputed and you hold a piece to that, you're not going to want to let your guy go over and just, give up the belt on their platform. You know, you'd want him to come on your platform because they know the situation with Canelo. They know that he's a free agent and he can fight on their platform. So again, I don't know. I don't think these fights are going to be as easy to make. Canelo might have to go and look into fight on those platforms. And I thought that was the whole point of Canelo being a free agent, that he wanted to go on and fight on all platforms, and he didn't want to be tied down to anybody. But let's see, man. Let's see what happens. But yeah, let me know what you think about Smith and Beterbiev. Do you think the Canelo fight happens next? It doesn't look like it. But leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.